Hi everyone, just a couple of weeks into the new year and we have another significant release for Nintex Workflow Cloud to go through. Assign a task to multiple users. Some of you may have already requested this through the user voice site. It has been quite heavily requested. So let's take a look at the configuration and then we'll take a look at the end user view. So I'm in my Nintex Workflow Cloud canvas and I am kicking this workflow off with a really simple form. It's a sales lead approval form. It's going to go to a couple of sales leaders for them to reassign. So prospect, company, email, mobile, product of interest. Really easy. My new action is here in the communications group. Assign a task, send an email. We should be familiar with already, but we now have assign a task to multiple users. So let's drop that on. You'll see it already expands the two outcome groups, approve and reject. Some of this is fairly familiar, things like task name, description, the outcomes, and the assignee authentication, as well as the other bits and pieces around the message and the reminders and escalation. We've been through that before. But let's take a look at the significant differences. So I've obviously got my multiple assignees here. So I can add up to 10 users to receive the task and complete it, either the first in best dressed or all assignees must give us a response. So let's just configure this so we can see what the end user view looks like. So I'm just going to put in task name, call on a couple of those form variables. So let's just say the prospect name and the company, and we'll call it the new lead. Description I'll leave blank. Multiple outcomes. Well, if we toggle this off, you'll see that it simply becomes a to-do task. If we leave it on, we can add multiple branches. This is a task form, a form-based task for now. Express approval is in the pipeline. However, you will need to configure a form for this, so we'll just really quickly do that. What I'll do is I'll drag in a couple of those start event variables to give the person responding to the task some context. So we'll say prospect name, the company, the email, so they can have a quick look, and maybe the mobile just in case they want to give them a call. And what I'll do is I'll drag in an assign to. So let's just make that an email address. So it's the seller that's going to get assigned to. Outcome is there. I can make that horizontal just to give some real estate and apply those changes. So I need my assignees, my multiple assignees. So I'm happy to be one of those sales leads here, and I'm sure Matthew is happy to be a second sales lead and Dan a third sales lead. So I've got 3, I can have up to 10 in there, and you can also include those on variable. So let's say I needed to send this task to, I wanted to send it to someone external. I would take my assignee authentication off, and if that email is being captured in the form, I can use that form variable again. I want to pop that in. So I am going to say in this one, configure it so that the first response completes the task. The workflow will proceed using the outcome from the first response. I can change my sender display name, add a subject. Let's just be quick here. Okay, and that's really it. You've got your reminders. You've got your, which is probably going to be quite important, particularly if you are using the all assignees must respond, and you've got your escalations as well. Gives you your output, so any of the form variables come back into the workflow as an object, and then obviously in the same way with an existing task, what do we do after that? So we've got reject, approve, and maybe. So let's publish this, and we'll have a look at what the end user will see when they actually receive the task. Open my form here, my URL for my web form, and we'll complete the task, and I should receive a task in the email. Pop in a prospect's name. Okay. So it's going to kick off the workflow for me, and that's going to send an email through. Now, as an end user, your tasks will appear in my Nintex. So that task should arrive here short with. And I'm going to be able to address that. It's obviously also going to come into my email because I used that method. So my task is here under my Nintex tasks. It's also been delivered to email, but I can choose to complete it through here. Complete the form. Now Dan and Matthew will also have received the task within their Nintex Workflow Cloud, my Nintex. I just approve and submit. That task is going to leave because we selected first in, best dressed. They'll not then see that task and it will have already been approved. So that's the new Nintex Workflow Cloud multi-assignees for tasks. Let us know what you think of that. Give us the feedback as you start to use it. And obviously using user voice, let us know how this can be improved. Thanks very much for watching. Looking forward to another feature release shortly.